actually coming off. Grinder's gonna take this job. Jeez Louise. Oh. What's up guys, Kyle at Fortune Off-Road, and this video is way overdue, but I wanted to make sure I still put the information out there because I like watching these kind of videos. I figured you guys would too. I've had this crawler hauler for a few years now, and overall it's been a really great experience, but like a lot of things you buy used, it needed some work, right? Previous owners didn't do things the way I would have done them. Some things just weren't lined up right, so I needed to redo it. But I bought this crawler hauler a few years ago, and at the time it seemed like a really good deal. I still don't regret it, but I've had to make a lot of upgrades, not just to the trailer, but to the camper, the axles, which we'll see in this video. A little background on this. This is a 1970s equipment trailer. So, you know, kind of an unusual trailer, but perfect for what I need because it is a taller trailer, which means the axles can be underneath and more narrow, which means it's easier to maneuver the trailer, especially in town and stuff. You know, you don't got to worry about taking turns super wide. It also has a lot of ground clearance, so when you're in those off-road parking areas, you don't have to worry about that. I like having the deck quite a bit off the ground, especially for a crawler hauler, so you can have like a deck when you come out of your camper. So just everything about it works great for me. But right when I bought it, I knew there was an issue. Just looking at it, I could see that the trailer had a bend in it, right? So that means that it has been overloaded and or gone over some rough terrain too fast. I kind of know how that happened. I think the previous owner liked to go out to King of the Hammers and stuff, and people take their trailers out there way too quick. But what's worse than that is the camper on the trailer weighs about 4,000 pounds. And I think he had like a 1-ton YJ. And I'm guessing, you know, that is, you know, a couple thousand pounds. But I mean, those two things combined, let's just say it's, you know, 8,000 pounds. Axle capacity on this is only like 10,400, I think, because the axles are twin 5,200 pounds. I think that's what they are. I'm not 100% sure because they're old. They look like they're the original axles that came on this trailer, just rusted to hell. I don't know if they've ever even been serviced. The brakes look like crap, bearings, all that, just not in good shape. So I only towed with it to get it to my house to do this axle swap. The trailer itself weighs about 5,000 pounds. And then when you add 8,000 on top of that, we're at 13,000 pounds for what I suspect these previous owners were towing around. Well over what the trailer is rated to do. And those took an effect on the trailer frame and the axles. So I'm not even messing around with the axles. Like I just do not want to have to worry about any of this stuff. I purchased a set of 7,000 pound axles to put under here. So I'll take us up to 14K, and it's over what we need, which is great. And this is something I did with a bunch of jack stands, as safe as I could possibly do it. But you'll see here when I start cutting, you know, all the tension on those U-bolts and stuff. Things get a little bit hairy, but yeah, enjoy the video. And at the end, I'll talk about this a little bit more. And like I said, this is a few years ago, so I'll show you where we're at now and give a little bit of update on, like, you know, how the trailer's been doing. Gosh, it's actually coming off. I think the grinder's gonna take this job. Jeez Louise. That's weird. Right, forward axle out. Now we need to see what the spring perch width is on these. So we're gonna have to get our new ones. We're gonna have to cut them off, put them on the other side, and make sure they're the same width as this, so we don't have to change up our suspension on the trailer. So our stock axle had a spring perch width of 54 1/4, and then these ones, the spring perches are 58 parts. So got to come in a little over 2 inches on both sides. The other part is, you can see where this one's labeled right. So this is the passenger side one, and these are set up for a spring under because this slot right here needs to be at the bottom. You can see the R's upside down. So I need to cut these off and then weld them on the opposite side. Shouldn't be too bad. The only part is cutting these off without destroying them or cutting into the tube. All right, wheel mounting surface on the old axles was 71 WMS, and then on here the wheel mounting surface is 74. So if nothing else changes with the wheels, the track width of this axle will be 3 inches wider, which is only 1.5 inches on each side. So that's not bad. We'll see how it actually looks like. All right, we cut the perches off, turned it around, cleaned the perches up. I just marked them with a black marker that on black paint actually comes out kind of purple. So that's how I know where to grind down. And then in the center there, I've got a dot you can kind of see. That's how I need to center it up. And I'm just getting them level with this mark on the brake, which is 180 degrees from the bottom. I'm gonna clean it up and weld it on. All right, got the new perches welded on, nothing fancy. And I think what I'm gonna do is just put this first axle in, just make sure everything's good before I do all the work on the second one. We'll throw some paint on once everything else is set up, you know, as long as the U-bolts aren't covering up where that paint needs to go. But one critique I have is the shipper really dented in these dust caps. Those you can find pretty easy, but it's kind of a shame for a brand new axle to have that. All right, we'll knock that bolt off the middle that we're using for a ground, and see if I can get the wife to help me carry this out under the trailer. See how she fits up. There's that forward axle installed. You can see it's sitting just a little bit outside. It's a narrower margin than I originally thought. I thought they were going to be quite a bit wider, but you can see the real limit is up in there. The tire needs to be able to tuck up in between those beams and not hit the side. It's going to be absolutely no problem. Whew. All right, got to do all that same stuff again for the rear tire. I'm going to save you guys some time, and I'll try to do it all in time lapse. Let's do it. So I purchased these axles from Trailer Parts Outlet. It's a really great website if you're like me and you have a trailer that you just need to kind of upgrade or refresh, or if you're building a trailer from scratch. These guys have a lot of packages for a decent price that would help with that. Now, we're not sponsored with them. I didn't get a discount or anything. I just bought all this the old-fashioned way when they had a sale, and it was a couple $1,000s. The good news is I was able to sell my old axles for $500 with the tires and everything. And I mean, to me, they were like junkyard worthy, but one man's trash is another man's treasure. So some guy came and picked him up, and I was able to deduct that from my cost. You know, when you upgrade these axles, you're getting more than just the axle strength itself. You're getting better brakes, you're getting duds and stronger wheel mounting. You're getting a stronger wheel. In this case, I'm going up in stronger tires. You know, the increased ply, so everything is upgraded. And because I got these new, I know everything's good to go. I got fresh brakes, it's a real relief to do that. One of the issues is this axle has a unique spring pad width on it, which is why we're having to do all this cutting and stuff. I could have got them custom made widths to be exactly the same as the ones that came on their stock, but it costs a lot more money to do that, like hundreds of dollars more. And I was like, oh, I could just cut these off and do it myself, which is what we're doing. All right, so there they are, all finished up and installed. And we've had them on here for a couple of years now, and everything's just been great, just flawless. I've checked the U-bolt torque and the lug nuts religiously, and you know, it doesn't seem like they've ever come loose or anything, which is great. You know, the first couple outings after installing something new like this, I'm just like, need to check it, but we're good to go. Years later, still haven't had any issues with this. Highly recommend this exact setup. Now, I still have all of these, the mounting brackets and the tandem assembly, all of that. I still have all of the ones that came with the kit. I haven't used them, and that's because eventually I'm gonna move this axle set back about 20 inches, maybe 24, depends on how everything weighs the next time I go to the scale, because I want more weight on the tongue of this axle. I just need the balance to be a little bit better, and I've got the dually now, so it can definitely take it. It's just gonna be a better balance, because you can see how this trailer sits right now. It's a little bit rear heavy for what I want. The trailer's sitting at a little bit of a rake, and the balance on it, it's a lot harder to achieve a ideal balance with the Jeep on there. And eventually I want to put 2 vehicles on this trailer. So this stuff's all gonna come later. I'm actually working on it right now, so I can't show you the top of the trailer, it's a secret. So much more to come on this trailer and the truck and the Jeeps and everything. So make sure you subscribe if you're into this kind of thing. And yeah, I got Instagram and TikTok, so you know, I try to throw stuff on there as much as possible, little updates. So if you're like a home brew builder like me and you like this thing, check it out.